identifies and develops sustainable solutions to undertake factors causing the brutal possession as well as illegal guns towards the cattle rights, insecurity, and ensuring that poverty in northern and eastern Uganda is taken away. This is a major obligation of the government of Uganda to do that. But according to the Article 79, a law was enacted to adequately specifically criminalize and penalize those people that are making rights very expensive and constitutional venture to all its perpetrators as well as arbiters. So you're realizing, Joram, a lot is happening and government is coming out, more so Parliament, to make sure they revise some of the motions that they have got to table towards their discussion to help people in Karamoja and how they should actually be helped towards cattle riding and wrestling. Maybe to conclude here, there is a highlight in the motion that government with immediate effect and in accordance to Article 22 relaunches and accelerates a comprehensive and sustained disseminate process in Karamoja region to remove any guns from civilian and riders. So we have been seeing that it was undertaking and it's still ongoing. But what do stories actually say as we speak?
Well, the MPs want the security tightened in Karamoja due to cattle rustling and some of the reports that are coming in on social media revealing that there are a number of deaths that are being recorded there. So cattle rustling in Karamoja has led to loss of lives. Not only that, cattle, destruction of property as well, and it is actually threatening public safety. Now let's have a look at what the MPs are appealing to government.
Cattle rustling in Karamoja has led to loss of lives and cattle, destruction of property, displacement of communities, and threats to public safety. It is controlled by cattle warlords and is spurred by rising demand for beef among the urban population in the region and abroad. It is described as an entrepreneurial crime leading to a financial loss.
From the constituents, from the people who come there. But we speak because we have faced the wrath from the cattle restaurant. They have ever been to Serere, they have been to Palisa, they have been to Sebei, they have been everywhere. They have been to them. So, Madam Speaker, I believe the UPDF has the...
It's from this that the Member of Parliament have urged the government to put in more security in the region.
In the 80s, the Teso, Lango, Acholi, Bugishu, Sebei sub-regions were ravaged by cattle rustling that inflicted untold suffering to the people for about 2 decades. Lives were lost, property including worth billions of shillings. As a result, the economy of the affected areas got shattered and poverty increased to very high levels.
Honorable Okiror, Honorable Senu, the Olympic District, Kapelebion, Torema here, they are in pain, they are in pressure. From the constituents, from the people who come there. But we speak because we have faced the wrath from the cattle restaurant. They have ever been to Serere, they have been to Palisa, they have been to Sebei, they have been everywhere. They have been to Kitugum, Agago, name them. So, Madam Speaker, I believe the UPDF has the capacity to deal with this situation.
To note that government has taken note and has been taking note of the problems we have in the country, especially in the areas of Karamoja and the surrounding districts.
The government of Uganda has made attempts to disarm the cattle warlords and give them incentives and promised protection to the Karamojong. The disarmament was done through persuasions. There is basically no peaceful coexistence with other tribes. They live in a state of fear all over the time and tension is written all over them. The rights of the people are generally being violated. For instance, the right to life is being violated by the raiders who come to steal, kill and destroy people and properties. The right to food and property is also being violated in the process of raiding, and this has also rendered the community to rely on relief food.
At the cost of the government watching, people are being tortured, there is a lot of human rights abuse. We are only talking about cattle. I'm also going to talk about things that are more productive. People lose lives on a daily basis. And it's only of late, when we lost geologists, that is when the country started understanding that there's a lot of trouble in Karamoja. Madam Speaker, why am I saying this? Right now, we have pockets, we have groups of bandits.
Honorable Speaker, I'd also asked government to come out with a concrete plan to address the problem. So I want to assure members, including the mover of the motion and the Honorable Nakut in particular, that don't lose hope. Government has no intention of abdicating its responsibility to provide security to the people of Uganda and indeed of that region.
With the persistence of conflict, the men have been killed in the raids, leaving a lot of widows to fend for themselves. The widows and other women have adopted activities like brewing local beer and selling it. The men's role also have changed over time due to the reduction in the number of cows and the restriction to crossover to other territories. They have now started building houses and doing some gardening to supplement the relief food. Pedson Mumbere, Smart 24 T.
Edson Mumber there reporting for us that particular one, and we're still considering what government still is putting hands on towards making sure it's fighting hard to control what is ongoing in Karamoja. But how about the people's safety? How about the protection for the community? At some point you feel like you don't have any protection. And I happen to have a friend in Karamoja there. One of the people, actually locals, one of the local authorities is a friend highlighting for me. It's a touching one. At some point, people feel like they are worthless, like they don't deserve anything good, because you own something. And then the next day you feel like it's going to be taken away. So there is that insecurity that comes with the people in Karamoja and those particular sub-regions. And then that creates a possibility of poverty lineage ongoing and ongoing, because you feel like you have something today, but because of the insecurities, you're like, it's for nothing, because the next day is not going to be yours. So I don't know what government is doing to make sure that perception changed as we try to fight the gunmen and the criminalities.
And with the mere fact that most, especially for the people in Karamoja, who are actually known as nomadic pastoralists in there, and with the fact that most of them believe that they are not, if you could look at the communities who have embraced one economic activity and have it as their source of identity, it's for the Karamojongs. But however, the bigger challenge they face is that if Rita, you and I are doing the same thing, and then one always wants to be the better person at it, is what is happening with the people of Karamoja. And that is why we are having such situations where cattle rustling has become a very, very serious one in the Karamoja region.
But it shouldn't be a concern, beating the other or competing with the other, but how effective can we make sure we undergo these particular processes? Because, defeat is a process, and that crosses to success as well. So it all comes with a process. That processes that again are reasons towards external factors or from external factors, because you realize there is a number of factors that actually can happen and drive either your success or defeat in this particular case. So for me, for the people of Karamoja, as I'm concluding on this, the Sebe region, there is the Lango region. So you realize what society has defined that you've got the power. You have got all what it takes to actually change it. It begins with you at some point. Just imagine Karamoja community coming out and saying, we no longer want this. Don't you think people are going to come out and react towards that, than relaxing and going with what is happening? That's all I can say around there. But coming after the break very shortly, Jerome Paul Sonko will be driving us into business and sport.